Welcome this week to the Metroidvania Review, the final episode of Environmental Station Alpha that we will be doing. There is other content in this game. We will not be covering all of it. A lot of it is just Easter egg stuff. I think it would be fun if you were interested in playing the game, if you found that for yourself. You can also find other YouTube videos on the subject. If there is a high demand that I cover those items, I may be willing to do that. But for now, we're going to have a little break this week. And after we're done with Environmental Station Alpha here, we're going to stream Mega Man 4 by request. I am actually by myself today, which is going to be a little different. During Environmental Station Alpha, I have to use the my phone in order to see the chat. Once we're done with Environmental Station Alpha, though, the games that I should be streaming from this point forward should have a windowed mode, so I should be able to see the chat more easily. I don't know if you saw when I loaded up. Actually, let me go ahead and just do that again here. This morning I did a little test to see how long this segment of Environmental Station Alpha would be. Played around with the save files. Apparently it's really easy to edit your save files, so I just made an extra save here. It got really glitched out because I don't think I did it correctly. So I ran this a little bit earlier and it took me about 10 minutes. I gave myself 99 hit points because you can do that apparently, so depending on how many times I actually die during this process will determine how quickly we can get through this. So when you do New Game Plus, as you can see, the entire map is available and you can teleport anywhere. However, everything is reset to the state it was when you start the game, which means the power is turned off, meaning that we can't access the security system until we turn the power back on. So we're going to do that first. I just keep looking at my map to make sure I don't get lost here. I have little watchers making sure that we don't get lost. And hi Denzo, how's it going? I don't know if you're going to stick around for... And by the way, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing Mega Man after this. If you don't want to stick around for that, I perfectly understand. That was what was voted on as our break week game. So once we're done with this final ending to Environmental Station Alpha, we'll be switching over to that. So I don't know if you remember, this is where we went to turn on the power originally when we first played the game. Had kind of an interesting, this power restored to all robotic and otherwise electronic equipment. This boss was somewhat challenging the first time we faced it, if you remember. Hey, how's it going, Silverin? And thank you, Denzo and Silverin, for being on basically all of these Environmental Station Alpha streams. So this is kind of fun, being able to face off with these bosses again after having all of your powers. So yes, I am alone today. Neither Jake nor Nick could make it this week. They both had other obligations. So it's funny, last week we stopped before we did this final ending, and it turns out that we probably could have done it if I didn't take so long in the Spike Maze. Spice Maze. Spicy hot. So funny how that turns out. I like how Nick is that. So I'm going to call him from now on. Hey, that. Okay, so now that we're down here, this is going to be the most challenging part because I'm going to try and rush it and probably get myself killed in the process. We're going to go ahead and save just to make sure I don't have to walk back here again in case I do. But we have to flip 4 switches in order to open the gate to where the security robot was. So this morning, as I mentioned, when I did the little test run of this, I gave myself 99 hit points. I lost a lot of them as I was going through this. So I'm a little worried that I'm going to end up overkilling this. There's one section in particular that hit me the hardest. But when you have a lot of HP, you tend to not be as careful, so I'm hoping that that is the only reason why. Endgame Plus is a feature I really like in a lot of games. It's really fun to go back and face off with things that you had previously had such trouble with being full power. Like, for instance, we couldn't just fly through here the first time, so it's a little bit novel. Speaking of which, when I was playing this morning, I managed to get myself stuck in a wall because I was dashing everywhere. And it was apparently not a wall you were supposed to get stuck in. Denzo could have corrected me if I was wrong on that one, but set back my little play test this morning. Security gate beta is unlocked. We just have one more. I think we can go back the way we came. And then we have the last one, which is the hardest one. Probably should have been the one I just did last, since you have to kind of backtrack through this anyway. And if you remember, this was the Get Good fight that I spent half an hour on, I think, when we did it originally. This is the thing that did the most damage to me because I was trying to rush through it. But it's not so bad if you take your time. Alright, Delta is unlocked. So I've learned a lot of things about streaming from this. This is our first stream for the Metroidvania review. Denzo has taught me that there's a process called premiering. I'm going to look into that and see if we can get that started for our next streams in the future. It's not hard. It's never hard. You know, to be honest, playing through this game for a second time after 2 years, I actually feel like it's not as hard as I originally thought it was. Granted, I was obviously full of fail during this run, but this is a very fair game, and I think that's part of what makes it so great. So now that we can fly, we can just pretend the boss to... Whoops. This is actually the hardest phase because he has that laser that can actually hit us. Let him do his laser. But yeah, if you remember, you had to lead his shots the first time, and it's a little bit more difficult to do when you can't just hover over his head like this. So I mostly did that practice run this morning because I'd like to get through all of Mega Man 4 today, so I just kind of wanted to see, like, from a timing standpoint, how much I was able to do. This is the funniest thing. He shoots it straight up. I just wish you guys could see what was actually happening with me doing this. But this is the safest way to take this fight on. Let's see if I can follow it. Oh, no. If I could just hover. Unfortunately, he's covered by his own life bar there. Oh, no. That was wrong of me. I should have just let it do its thing. There we go. Even cheating like this, I still took 22 damage. There we go. So yeah, Mega Man 4, it's not going to be like a professional speedrun. I'm not that good. But if you want to see what a speedrun looks like by a complete amateur, that's what you're going to get to see today. Alright, so we have just unlocked the security. So now we can take on the final boss and see the final ending. That's how quick this was. So if you remember the first time we fought this boss, and it took me, what, half an hour or whatever, we didn't have the infinite dash, the X booster. It's going to be easier with Mega Man because, as I mentioned, there's a lot of quirks. Let me go ahead and read this. It did not heed the advice. Is it here to destroy me? That cannot be allowed. It is not too different from the others. Why does it do this? A malfunctioning robot is of no use to us. Scrap it. Environmental Solution Alpha has some technical quirks. the screen was all stretchy when I put it into windowed mode, and I didn't want to stream it that way, so I've been playing it full screen this entire time, which makes it a little bit more difficult for me to see the chat. Security database, and then here's our favorite terrible pink boss. The boss rush. We could try the boss rush before we quit Environmental Station Alpha. The AI has access to every electronic system here, and this, and so do I. It is already too late. We weren't ever trying to save the station. We just wanted to kill you. Welcome. It has been downloaded into my mainframe for proper deletion. Disappear. We got the hands. So yeah, now that we can just fly, most of the attacks are kind of a non-issue. I'm gonna just kind of hover in this corner for a lot of them. I'm probably gonna die at least once anyway, because that's just how it's gonna run. Oh. Especially if I do things like that. The big thing to remember, okay, we gotta actually dodge these. The big thing to remember is the circle appears every time you hit the head. Sorry if I go a little quiet during this, because I'd like to not have to do this twice. That's the one I actually have to dodge. Oops. It helps that I had a little bit of practice before we did this live. And now to enjoy the final secret ending of Environmental Station Alpha. Fool. Without the AI system, the whole system will crumble, or whole station will crumble. Destroying me means the destruction of all of this. Escape. And it was glitchy because it's New Game Plus. You did well, mission accomplished. Such a virus could have posed a threat to our whole civilization. Head immediately back to us. The data... And that's it. That's the final ending that we have not seen in Environmental Station Alpha. I hope that was completely worth it. This is something I love about this developer, is that you have this really serious game, and that's how he makes the final secret ending. So as Denzo is pointing out, there are other things that we can look at, just little Easter eggs throughout the game. I don't think I'm going to do all that. There are a lot of little tiny things to see. There's actually a power that we didn't unlock that gives you a bicycle. But I think that's it for Environmental Station Alpha. We'll do the boss rush. Okay, just for Denzo, we'll do the boss rush. We'll see how far I get. I'll give it a good 3 tries, and then we'll move on. And the boss rush was... I don't remember where it was. It's up here? Is this it? I think it... Where is that at? Do you remember where that's at, Denzo? I know we saw it. It doesn't have the extra map on it. I don't remember where it was. Grappling hook. This thing. That's where it is. Alright, so the fastest way to get there is right here, I think. Seems like this is like the main teleport for a lot of the content in this game. We're always teleporting to this area. Can we get there from here? Maybe. There we go. Oh, we have to fight all the bosses before we can get in there. Sorry, Denzo. I don't know if we want to go through all that. That's interesting, even on New Game Plus. That's too bad. Well, let's see if let's see if we can. I don't think this file is going to do it because this is before I even did the spike maze. Nah. All right. Well, maybe I'll do an extra feature next time we have a break week, and I'll get that cleared out so that we can try that. You guys just want to see how far I get. All right. Well, we're going to try something that I haven't done during stream before, and that's switch games during